Shalom, shalom, everyone. Peace, 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 peace. I thank God for being here again today. So today was a really, really very happy day for me because it was my birthday. And of course it was because we are already 10 p.m. here. And yeah, we're already late. And I thank God because of the new year, new age. I always say that I'm not getting old, I'm getting better. I'm getting better, and I wanted to take this time to thank everybody that took their time to wish me a happy birthday, or to say a positive word over my life, to say a prayer for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. God bless you. I think it's very important to celebrate your new age every single time because, this year a lot of people would have wished, to celebrate a new year, a new age, but unfortunately they lost their lives. So if God allows you to be alive again and to celebrate a new age, it's really important to be grateful and thankful, and thank you for thinking to celebrate it with me. May God bless you. May God bless you. May God bless you. So I wanted to take this time to do a little story time, which is a testimony, because as I always say, my life is a journey. I went through a lot, a whole lot in my life, and I always like to say that God did not allow me to go through everything that I went through just for fun. I think He wanted me to go through those things so that when I'll be talking, sharing about it, someone out there who's going through the same thing will know how to cope with it, or someone will have to go through the same thing one day and will know how to cope with it. So that's why I like to share the word of God with you, and I like to share with you my life, the story of my life. Today I wanted to share with you a little bit my testimony about my birth, because it was a miracle. So let's get into it. So a lot of people like to say that, oh, I was born like every other child. I like to say that I wasn't born like every other child, because first of all, I was born at 10 and plus month, 10 month and plus. My mom didn't really feel the pain or the urge to go to the hospital until it was 10 months and some weeks. And it's at the end, at the end of the weeks that the water broke at home. And when the water broke, she was rushed to the hospital. Even though she was not feeling the pain, she was just rushed to the hospital so that they can take the baby out, which is me. And when they arrived there, they decided that they will do a C-section on her. And then so they get everything ready for the C-section. When she get in the surgery room, she said that she wanted to go to the toilet, and she was like, I want to go. And when she was trying to get up, the nurse who was next to her, that said that, oh no, it's not that you want to go to the toilet, it's the head of the baby that's coming out. So they told her that, no, now you have to lay down and try to push the baby. And that's how she started pushing the baby. And I came out, but I was dead. I was dead. My heart wasn't beating. I was not crying, no movement whatsoever. But the nurse that was helping my mom to have the baby, she said that there was still hope, because although my heart wasn't beating or anything, but I was still warm. So she said that maybe my heart is simply weak, or maybe my heart just stopped beating no long ago. So if they do the CPRs and everything that they can do, I may come back to life. So she just didn't want to give up on me just like that. So they started then to do the CPRs and everything that you doctors and nurses know that you can do when someone is not responding. They did all they can do, and thank God I came back to life, and I started crying, and that was my first victory over the death. And when my mom told me about that story, growing up and praying, God revealed to me that I was condemned to die. I mean, I wasn't, called to be alive today. I was condemned to die. And that was a miracle from God for me to be alive. And being a Christian, we know that when the devil wants your head, he will never stop there. So he didn't stop there with me either. After I came out, for those who knows or had a baby or work at the hospital, at the maternity, when they cut the umbilical cord, they wash it, they put some alcohol or medication so that it won't be infected, and then after that they cover it and then wait until it's dried up so they can take the band out. So the nurse who washed my umbilical cord, whatever belly button, she didn't use the proper alcohol or utensil to wash my my belly button. She used the iodized alcohol. I think iodized alcohol or iodized alcohol. That's what she used to wash a baby of 1 day. She washed me and she covered me with a band. And as a lot of people know in Africa, or maybe that was in the old time, they used to cover all your belly like that when they wash the belly button after they cut the umbilical cord. So she covered my belly. And from there, I was just crying and crying and crying. My mom said that they took me home. I was just crying and crying. And, in Africa, most of the time, they say, oh, if a baby is crying too much, it means that it's going to be talking too much when they grow up. So that's what everybody was saying. Oh, this girl, she's really going to talk. She wasn't going to talk. But they didn't know that I was suffering. And then after 5 days, my mom said that wasn't okay anymore because I was not sleeping and it was getting worse every day. It was getting worse. So my mom and my dad, one night, they decided to take me back to the hospital to know really what's going on with this baby. And when they get to the hospital, they did all the examinations, all the checkups, and everything seemed normal. Everything was normal. The doctor was like, she looks fine. Everything's normal. And one of the doctor came and she's like, okay, well, maybe the band that they put on her belly is making her uncomfortable. Let's try to take it out and maybe to, to ease it up a little bit. So, okay, my parents was, okay, that's fine. Then when they tried to take off the band that was covering my belly, my mom told me my belly was open. My belly, my mom said my belly was, my skin and, everything, it was attached with the band. So while they were taking the band out, everything was coming out with the band. And my mom said that you could see inside of my belly, you could see my intestinal, you can see everything. And the doctor was like, how even this baby living? How is she crying? I mean, why am I alive? That's what the doctor was saying, because I was here crying, but I was dead. My belly was open. And my mom said that she just started crying because the doctor told her that this never happened and they don't even know where to start. They couldn't tell her if I will live or I will die. They can't tell anything because it was, for them, I was dead, because they were not even understanding how I was still crying. And then when they discovered that it was the iodized alcohol that was used on me, they started to try to find the nurse who did that, who washed me. But until today, they never found that nurse who washed me. They never found that nurse. They never found, they don't know her name. They don't know where she was coming from. They don't know nothing about that nurse. Until today. So my mom said that the doctor had to call help from other doctor. They came, and that's how they started to do the work on me. You know, the devil wear a face of a nurse to come and finish with me, because he couldn't kill me when I was in my mom's belly. So he wanted to finish with me right there after I was out. And there again, God saved me, because it was a miracle, you know. So my mom said I had to stay at the hospital for 4 months, because they had to repair what was going on. And my mom was saying that every day she would come, I was isolated, and she couldn't even touch me anymore, because they, you know, yeah. So she would see me doing progress every day through a mirror, you know, a glass window. And God did it. And again, I was saved. And again, the death failed. And I'm still here. And that was my second miracle, my second victory over death. That's why every time when things happen to me, and when I can't take it no more, even when I want to give up, you know, God always remind me this. God always remind me this. And I always say to myself that me being in this world, I have clearly a mission from God. And I won't die. And I won't die until that mission is accomplished. And I feel like maybe that's why I went through hardship too, even when I shouldn't have gone through stuff. But I did, just because I have a mission. Yes, I do. And every day of my birthday, God remind me my story. And it's long, but I will stop here today. We continue again later. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Don't forget to subscribe, like if you like the content, and leave me a comment if you have a question, or if you just want to open a conversation. Just leave me a comment below, and I will surely answer you, and I will surely comment back. God bless you. God bless you. And as I always say, God first, God always. Bye.